Hi guys. Today's subject is going to come from thoughts I had during my quiet time, and I wrote those thoughts down, and I hope that this will not be a message that is coming from condemnation. This is not for you to sit around and berate yourself and tell yourself that you are a lot of things that you're not, because you're not your current circumstances, you're not your past circumstances, but you are what you choose to do with your current or your past circumstances. So the subject that I had initially for this video was, when did you become, or when did you start hating you? When did you become anti-you? Or when did you start hating you? And the subject comes from a place where I thought about how I had been living for many years without knowing. At the time, I had the deception that, you know what, I was loving myself, I was doing all these things, Of course, moving, I mean, breaking up with someone who's not loving you enough, that's self-love. But moving from one relationship to another without a space in between to think about the things that you've been through in the previous relationship and heal those things is absolutely not self-love. And another one of those things that I used to do back then was this thing of do whatever makes you happy. Okay, going to the clubs makes me happy, so does that make it an act of self-love? Absolutely not. It does not. And there's nothing wrong with going to the club, but when you're going to the club every week, I don't even want to say every weekend, because during the week I would still go. Weekends, I'm in full attendance. Saturday and Sunday I'm there. Friday I'm there. But it got to a point where I was going to clubs even during the week. So self-love was out of the window. Another one of the things that I used to do, that we kind of society has kind of made it seem like self-love is this is one of the do what makes you happy type of things, and it's mishandling money. There's nothing cute about mishandling money. That's a serious issue that if you're not careful, you will stay stuck in one place because of that issue. Another one is being in relationships that do not serve you, like friendships, not just romantic relationships, but friendships where the people bring out the worst in you. I mean, your friendship may have other aspects that are good, but if there are things that you're trying to do with your life and those friendships are hindering those things, like they bring out the worst in you, always you and your friends are doing things that you have no business doing at a time when you should be cultivating and growing things in your life, that would be beneficial to you or your family. Yeah, that's crazy. People pleasing is another one of those things. We think that, spending money to please people is you being cool. I would, like, at this point, I've realized that a lot of things that we call cool is just insecurity, just pure insecurity and lack of self love. Smoking. I mean, honestly, this does not even need explanation. Like, smoking weed, smoking hookah or habli, and cigarettes is one of the most harmful things. But we have made it to look like something that is cool, especially smoking weed. We say that because this medicinal weed, we are now, making it out to be this wonderful thing that, if you smoke it, you're cool. You're not. You're not. There are many adverse things that these things cause in our bodies. And self love is loving your body as well. Um, okay, I'm going to read now from the things I've written. I wrote it the other day, and bear with me. I might change some things because sometimes I can be too vulnerable when I write. So I don't know if I want to share everything that I've written. Okay. This is a subject that is very hard to discuss even amongst ourselves as people. But recently I was telling someone that I cannot love them when they do not love themselves. And then it hit me that although mine is different from that person, I have not been loving me as well. I was listening to Jackie Perry talking about whether or not she would go to a gay wedding. And if you don't know Jackie, she got delivered from the spirit of sexual perversion, I think, and the Lord has since turned her life around. She's now married and with children and a husband, married to a husband, to a man. She was a lesbian. And basically her answer was that she wouldn't go because if she went, she'd be grieved seeing the gay couple do what they're doing, since she had been there before and has full knowledge of that type of bondage. For the person who's going through it, it's just, it's just marriage. What's the big deal? That's what they say. It's just marriage. What's the big deal? But it's not just marriage. It's not just marriage. But anyway, that's a story for another day. You can go and check out Jackie Perry's story and how she's moving from glory to glory. I'm sure there are a lot of videos on YouTube about her testimony. So this kind of gave language to how I felt when I was in a romantic relationship that I recently got out of. And I loved the person, and I felt like I knew that they loved me as well. There was nothing he wouldn't do for me. except to change his lifestyle. And his lifestyle, particularly, was the thing that made me uncomfortable because I used to live the way he lives. Not only did it grieve me, but it gave me anxiety. At the beginning of the relationship, I wouldn't sleep whenever he went out because I would be filled with so much anxiety. Every time he said he wants to smoke weed because he couldn't sleep, reminded me of a time I myself was sleeping but always woke up feeling like I didn't sleep. And so I tried weed, and at first it looked like it was helping, but it ended up causing more problems, and I couldn't sleep sometimes, at most without smoking it. I became dependent on it. Okay, sorry. I keep moving the camera because I'm holding this book. I'm trying to hold the mic. Let me continue. In a society where everyone claims to love themselves so much, I think it's ironic how much there is a high level of alcohol and drug abuse, sexually transmitted diseases, gender based violence, toxic relationships, divorce, sexual perversion, casual relationships, single parenting, glorified girlfriend or boyfriends, that is cohabitation, and many other things that shouldn't be happening, but we glorify, we celebrate them. We celebrate them. We have to stop and ask ourselves if the things we're doing is out of self-love or out of the pain we're trying to avoid. Ask yourself, if I love myself so much, why do I keep giving my glory through premarital sex to guys who have no intentions to do right by me? Why am I in this relationship where I'm a punching bag whenever my partner is angry? Why am I in this relationship and hoping that one day my partner would see me and understand how to love me? Why do I smoke my mind away every day instead of facing everything in my life as it comes? Why do I numb myself with narcotics, meaningless sex, and social media instead of getting therapy? Why do I always sabotage my destiny or purpose or work or career by hanging out with friends who bring out the worst in me? Why do I always feel a need to wear revealing, provocative clothes? Why do I waste my money on meaningless things for temporary pleasure or to please others? Why do I give people everything I have and leave myself empty with no help or no one to point to me? Why do I force to help people who do not want to help themselves? What makes me think I'm Jesus Jr., that I can love people into changing? The list cannot be exhausted, but we need to stop and ask ourselves why. And the next time you catch yourself doing it, see it for what it is. Get to the root of it. Ask yourself, what makes me do this? What am I trying to run away from? What pain am I trying to run away from? What pain am I trying to cover with this? What what circumstance am I trying to avoid, and face it. Because even trying to suppress it, it has to come out in some way. And it's always gonna come out in toxic ways, in toxic behaviors. So we have to be careful with playing with things that are not to play with. There's nothing funny and there's nothing cool about you partying every week, or actually every day. There's nothing cool about you drinking every day. There's nothing cool about moving from one partner to another. There's nothing cool about meaningless sex. There's nothing cool about trying to look a certain way in front of people while you know that that relationship is good for nothing. The person is never gonna do right by you. There's nothing cool about smoking weed. There is nothing cool about smoking herbally. There is nothing cool about spending money you do not have on going out to events that are meaningless. There's nothing cool so my last words would be that be careful playing with things that are not to play with. I started out playfully dating more than one guy, and at the time I was like, it's not that serious. I'm not even kissing the guys. It's not even real dating. But I ended up in my adulthood jumping from one relationship to another because it's not that serious. In like manner, be careful smoking weed or herbally, drinking alcohol, and dating for fun, because fun can turn into a prison that cannot be escaped. Thank God I was able to escape my prison, because baby, I'm happier than I've ever been in my life. And that is only the mercy and grace of God. But if you continue down that path, you might never get the opportunity to see how life can be great outside of those things. You might never get to feel the peace beyond those circumstances. Feel what you need to feel. Stop running. You can never run. You can never outrun your problems. You can never outrun your pain. You can never outrun your trauma. You can never outrun those circumstances that you're in that is not favorable, but you have to face it, or at least change your perspective about it. You don't have to numb yourself in order to feel better about the circumstances, but perspective change can also help in that situation. I think I've said enough. I came across a post today that confirmed this thoughts I had, and I will post it. I think there were some helpful things on there. I didn't read it fully because I wanted to keep my thoughts original. But there were some things that the person said that could really help in this. Let's love ourselves for real and not fake love ourselves. We always say people are fake to us. But what about when you're being fake to you? When you're lying to yourself and saying, oh man, drinking alcohol is so good. Sure, it feels good in that moment when the alcohol is in your system, but wake up the next day and your problems are still there. Your pain is still there. Your circumstances are still there. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna drink every day to avoid the pain, to avoid the trauma? Just think about it. I think I cannot just leave this video here. I have to give this advice as I've given before, that journaling helps. Journaling helps. And not just journaling. I don't want to say journaling helps. I don't know about journaling, just journaling in general, but I know about journaling to the Holy Spirit. I know that it actually works. It's like therapy, but actual therapy is something that most of us need. There's counseling in some clinics, but if your issues are pressing, you can go and ask for therapy at a clinic, and they will refer you to other clinics or a hospital that has these type of help. They have psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors, and all those things. And keep fighting, man. This life thing is hard enough on its own. You don't need to add addictions to it. Anyway, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below if there's anything you want to comment. But if you just want to say hi, you can say hi down below. If you just want to vent, you can vent below. I love you guys. Next time. Bye.